love Kyle.
Michael finds like a crystal dildo?
Uh-huh. Yep, that is what I wrote in my notes. Hello and welcome to Pass the Hot Sauce, a Roswell podcast. I'm Aliza Ora.
And I'm LaRena Rose, and we're here to talk about every episode of the 1999 WB series Roswell, one episode at a time and spoiler-free. Today, we will be discussing Season 2, Episode 19, Baby, It's You.
According to IMDb, this is the one where Liz continues to pursue her theory that Alex's accident was caused by an alien. Maria joins her investigation, and they discover that Alex was at the University of New Mexico in Las Cruces instead of Sweden. This is a long one, you guys. So Liz and Maria head to the university to find out what Alex was doing there, and Michael follows them. After an intimate night together, Tess tells Max she's pregnant and forces him to consider their future.
Ooh.
So this episode originally aired on May 7th in 2001. It was written by Jason Katims, Lisa Klink, and Garrett Lerner. And the director was Rodney Charters. Rodney Charters has worked on many, many TV shows. He's directed the pilot of a few shows, like Nashville.
I feel like that's a niche to like specifically be hired to do pilots.
Nashville, he only directed the pilot. This show Alphas that I liked and watched many years ago, only directed the pilot. He directed a bunch of episodes of 24, Dallas, Shameless, a bunch of episodes of Roswell. Actually, he directed 19 episodes of Roswell.
Oh, wow.
He also directed Cry Your Name, Heart of Mine, Viva Las Vegas, a lot of them. Meet the Dupes, Wipeout, Harvest, Summer of 47, which is a big fan favorite. Mm-hmm. So he's been all over television in general, but especially Roswell.
Nice.
So, shall we get into it?
We shall.
Again, with this weird cold open that, like, I'm starting to get used to.
I know, me too. I don't like it. I'm getting used to it, but I still don't like it.
So, like, the main points, I feel like, of this cold open are that Maria still considers it an accident. Mm-hmm. Liz considers it a murder. And it's causing a rift between Max and Liz.
And that Tess and Max kissed, but it was just one kiss. It's probably no big deal, right?
Yeah. And then we go straight to Max and Tess naked in the observatory, having fallen asleep there.
Yep.
Again, where are all the people who work at this observatory?
Security guards at this very expensive telescope?
There's no way there wouldn't be 24-hour security.
And then when they wake up, Tess looks like very happy and content, and Max is looking a little bit not so happy.
Yeah. He has a lot to process.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a big part of him, probably still has feelings for Liz.
Oh, I'm sure. And
I feel like Tess is, and I hate this term and this concept, but like a rebound that like, you know, he's still not really over Liz and got involved with Tess like because of this complicated history and destiny and all that. Mm-hmm. That's what I think anyway. I think that that's what drove him to Tess more than like because he had a crush on her or anything like that.
Yeah, he just knows there's all this history, even if he doesn't remember it all clearly.
Yeah. So I cannot tell what time of day it is. Like, is it morning? It's not like fully morning, but it looks like it's kind of light outside.
Maybe it's, I don't know, pre-dawn?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Because, like, you know, Kyle's still in bed, like, Jim is in his PJs.
Yeah. I love the moment, though, with, like, so Max and Tess think they're, like, sneaking in and whispering, and we just see Kyle, like, peeking up from under the blanket.
I love it.
Just, like, his little eyes peeking up and, like, peering out.
So cute.
Yeah, it's a cute little moment.
They know, or at least Tess knows, that he sleeps on the couch.
Yeah, because she has his bedroom, so he's obviously...
Forever is such a nice thing that he did.
Yeah.
And continues to do. I mean, he sleeps on the couch every night. Mm-hmm. It's not like he gave her his room and that's in the past. Like, it affects him every day, you know?
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah. This is a good Kyle episode.
I love Kyle. It is a good Kyle episode. It really is. It's a good a few people episode. Mm-hmm. It's a good episode. Honestly, this is a good episode.
Yeah, I like this episode too.
I 100% just forgot about looking for laughs. So like I have no idea how many times people laughed in this episode. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I don't remember any standing out at me, and I'm not as on top of noticing them as you are, but I do notice them more. Yeah, I feel like it would have
stood out, right?
Yeah, I think there just aren't any.
But there was still some funny stuff going on in this episode.
Yes. Some stuff that made us laugh.
So they kiss. He kisses her goodbye. And one of our few responsible adults comes out being like, where the hell have you been? Because like he actually did notice that she was gone.
Like a good dad would if your kid didn't show up, for not just, it wasn't even days on end. It was only like an evening and he noticed she wasn't gone. What a good foster dad.
And like we did find out that like there were more scenes with parents. They were more involved. They just got cut. But I still like this trope of us giving the adults of Roswell shit. So I will continue. Thank you.
Yes. So there was something in this scene that I noticed that I don't remember ever noticing before. We get like a wider pan out of sort of like the kitchen dining or the dining area surrounding the door, and we've like seen that green checked wallpaper a bunch of times, but like up on the top like border of the wall is all these like decorative plates that I don't think we've ever had this sort of angle of the kitchen before. And I feel like it must be a decorative element that like was there from when Mrs. Valenti lived in the home, and they just like never redecorated or anything when she left.
Yeah, I bet. I did not notice that.
Yeah, it's like we didn't get a good enough shot of them to like see what was on the decorative plates, but it was definitely like all these like a border of decorative china in the dining room, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Huh.
But yeah, anyway, just had never noticed it before.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Now that the Valentis seem to have a consistent home.
Yeah, they seem to have settled. So, yeah, Max leaves, whatever, and Tess goes in her room, and she feels something in her belly.
Oh my god! What could it be?
FYI, for anyone human who is listening, this is not how our pregnancies work.
No,
you do not just feel pregnant the day after you had sex.
Yeah, not even like the day. It's like hours after. It's not even a whole day after.
Right, no, you're right. It's like a few hours, yeah. But she's not human, so, we can give them the benefit of the doubt on that. And then we have our, like, theme music opening thing.
So after our credits, we end up in the DeLuca household, and it is the middle of the night.
Because Liz is not sleeping these days.
No, she is not. But she's about to get Maria on board with her. I mean, I was about to say conspiracy theory, but it's not really a conspiracy theory anymore. She has proof now.
Not. Yeah. Yeah, and she, shares with Maria all her findings about the building in the picture that was torn down in 1994. And Maria is, like, really convinced by this, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, so where was he? Like, if he wasn't in Sweden, where was he? And he wasn't in Roswell.
Yeah, and who is Leanna? Is she an alien? Is she an alien hunter? Is she... Yeah. Who knows?
Right.
We're about to find out, though.
So not only is there a rift between Liz and Max, but there's also this painfully, like, awkward and uncomfortable and anger-filled rift between Isabel and Max.
Yes.
There's, like, just so much anger in it.
Yes. And, I mean, Max in this scene, we all know Max is not my favorite character, but I just don't feel sympathy for him here when Isabel is treating him like shit.
Oh, he deserves to be treated that way. He came to her thinking what? That she would, like, comfort him? Why would he think that?
Which is exactly what she says to him. She's like, my feelings don't matter to you, so why should yours matter to me? This is not my fucking problem. Like, you treat everybody like shit, and it's not my problem.
He tells her he slept with Tess, and, like, she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But you know what I appreciate? I think throughout all of this episode is that nobody said made love. They said, like, sex. They actually said the word sex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Isabel in this scene is like, you slept with her? Like, yes, these are fine phrases to use. Made love is not a fine phrase unless you're, like, you know, from, like, the 1950s. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, so in the hallway at school, I think, is our next scene.
Yep.
And Tess is like, you know, Max, I have something to tell you. But then Michael comes up and interrupts.
And Max is so awkward. Why is he
weird.
so awkward? I don't even understand why this is like a plot point.
Because he's just like so weird about having had sex.
I guess. I mean, I kind of thought he and Liz had sex by now, but maybe they hadn't.
No, yeah, I don't think they did.
Yeah, there's just like a few times where we like kind of get the impression that maybe they did, but I guess they just like fell asleep next to each other chastely after a makeout.
Yeah,
like
I think that is what it is. My favorite part of this awkward interaction is when, you know, he's like, we were talking, and Michael's like, all right, later. And Max responds, great.
Great.
Like, all right, later. Great.
So awkward. So incredibly awkward.
And then Max and Tess are standing there, and like Michael, Isabel, and Kyle are all just standing like a couple yards away, just staring at them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But I guess they're trying to show us that like Max and Tess are more publicly together now. Mm-hmm. You know, he takes her hand in the hallway, like people are seeing them being coupley.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess obviously Kyle knows something happened and he told Isabel that they slept together. So I guess, I mean, Michael's the only one in that group that hasn't explicitly, you know, discovered that information.
Right.
I love this next scene out on the bleachers, and Isabel is out there just kind of like looking out over Alex's memorial, and Kyle brings her a cup of coffee.
So sweet. Kyle is just so thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
I want to marry him.
Buddhism has really done wonders for his temperament.
For real, it really has. Even though he like tries to use Buddha as an excuse for some things in this episode that I'm like, I'm not sure Buddha would appreciate that.
I mean,
but hey.
He has more or less done that a little bit the whole season.
Oh,
but,
yeah, for sure.
But, you know, I like this Kyle much better than like the angry Kyle of season 1.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, this guy is awesome. I know Kyle, who mistreated our one and only Vicky Delaney.
Mm-hmm.
Lest we forget. Vicky, this is for you. Must have been a man who wrote your part. I hope Kyle didn't break your heart. Vicky Delaney, we won't forget you. And thus starts this fantastic pairing.
Yes, of Isabel and Kyle.
Yeah.
That we haven't really seen them as a pairing in this series yet.
No, and it's fun to watch them together.
Yeah, and get into some mischief together throughout the episode.
And it's good for her, I think.
Yeah, I think it takes her mind off things.
And to have someone that is not about, like, the drama and is not related too closely to, like, this loss, you know, all this stuff, horrible stuff that happened. And he's like, stop the doom and gloom. You know, he's like, have some fun. Your powers, you could have so much fun with them. Yeah.
And the first idea that he has for fun is to have Isabel help him dream walk into the dreams of a Playboy bunny. Mm-hmm. The Playboy Playmate of the Year. As
Jodie
a matter
Ann
of
Patterson.
Fact, yes.
So Jodie Ann Patterson this is actually her.
And she was a Playboy model?
Yes. Yep. She was also in pageants and a model and was also an actress in a few different things. She was in Dude, Where's My Car? Which, like, I'll have to rewatch to see which part she's in, because I definitely saw that movie too many times when I was, like, in middle school. I love that, like, her dream, first of all, is spinning.
Yeah.
But I also love that he approaches her in her, like, spinning dream, and she's like, this is a private gym.
Yeah. That her dream is just being in a private spin gym with chocolate
funny.
cake dangling in front of her as inspiration.
The chocolate cake that she really wants to eat and very much enjoyed eating.
Yes, she did.
I also really liked, because Isabel is like, okay, like, this has gone too far. Because he's, like, about to, like, lead her to the showers, and Isabel's like, no.
No,
so
we're not going there.
He gets mad, obviously, and he's like, no, like, let's go, please take me back in. And she's like, I don't want to see that. And so Kyle goes, then bring a book.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle.
He also... And I, like, honestly don't remember the context, but he does bring up a Buddha quote. That is, some of us are born with stones and some of us are born with jewels, but the most fulfilled of us are those who are born with stones and turn them into jewels.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful sentiment.
Mm-hmm. I think he says that to her when they're still on the bleachers, as a way of convincing her to have fun.
I don't think so.
Or no, is it after she's broken him out of the
it's
spin
after
dream?
The dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember why he said that, but it is a beautiful sentiment, except you have to understand that, like, not all stones are the same, and some people's stones can be turned into jewels more easily than others.
Yes, this is very true.
Just saying, if we're using that kind of analogy, like, recognize that it's still harder for some people to get to the point of a jewel. Mm-hmm. So I think Maria's is where we are next, where, excuse me, but she's using an old iMac.
Yeah, she is.
Or iBook. I think it was an iBook.
Yeah, I think it's before they were even called iMacs.
No, I think there were iMacs at the time, but that the iMacs were, like, the desktop ones.
Yes. Yeah, I think
that were the same, like, with the, like, kind of see-through, colorful plastic.
Yeah, I think you're right. I also love her sparkly Union Jack tank top in this scene.
Yeah.
So good.
Like, very time accurate,
yes.
I think.
Like, this is the era that, like, right after the Spice Girls and, like...
Yep. So, I did not catch what she was looking at. I felt like it happened really quickly. I had to rewind a couple times. That it's, like... That it's an email, right? That he sent to her when he was,
supposedly
quote-unquote, in Sweden.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then she goes to this nerd guy, Derek, maybe?
Yes.
To track it.
Yeah, Derek. I wrote down his name a little later on.
And he's like, you're Liz Parker's friend, right? And I didn't get that. Well, he knows Liz Parker because she's nerdy, too.
Well, also, Liz has already asked him about stuff, remember? In the last episode?
Oh,
Liz started asking... Yeah,
okay.
That's who she was asking about the binary code.
So he knows that...
Yeah. But also, like, how big is the school? I mean, I guess even if it doesn't have to be that big of a school for you to not really know everybody.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like Roswell is not that big of a town, at least from, like, what we've seen of it. It's, like, doesn't seem like that big, and this is West Roswell High.
Yeah.
So, like, how many kids can it really have if it's not even all the teenagers in Roswell?
Who knows? Anyway, yeah, so he does not know Liz or Maria personally, but he is more than happy to help Maria do illegal things.
Yes. He's like, it's illegal. She goes, And? And that's, like, enough for him.
Yeah, he's like, okay. All right.
The park. Things are awkward with Tess and Max. Mm-hmm. She's like, you seem quiet. He goes, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not something that, like...
I'm not quiet.
If you haven't been talking, then yes, you are quiet. You can't just say, I'm not.
I also love how awkward he is when she's like, now isn't the time to be pulling away from me. So as if to be like, I'm not pulling away from you, he leans over and puts his arm around her, like, in the most awkward way possible.
Like, forced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so weird. Max, get your shit together.
And then here is where we officially find out that Tess is preggo.
And it's funny because, like, before that even, he's like, what happened has implications. He's, like, kind of talking about, like, that sex is a big deal and whatever, and, like, doesn't even know.
Yeah, that she's... But, like, it is a big deal. People can get pregnant. Aliens can get pregnant.
Even aliens. Mm-hmm. And also, like, I have to say, her skin is like porcelain.
Yes.
It's unreal. She just like, it's just so beautiful.
She's just so beautiful.
Just like not a flaw on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
And back at the Valenti house, so it's a little unclear how much later this is because they were hanging out together, Max and Tess, and now Tess is back at the house. But Liz...
Well, and Max is there too.
Well, he walks in. It seems like he walks in from outside, though.
Oh, I thought he walked in from, like, another room.
Oh, okay. I guess that's possible. I have the impression he walked in from outside, but I could be very wrong. But yeah, Liz wants to hit Tess up to talk about her powers. Real slick. Although I do genuinely believe her that she's just trying to research.
Yeah. So Max comes in and she's like, nothing. We were just talking.
Mm-hmm.
And Max is, being dramatic.
So
and
dramatic.
Like, oh, so Tess killed Alex. And even Tess is like, no, Max, she didn't say that.
Yeah. Max is not hearing it. He's, being an overbearing asshole again.
Oh, and he says when Kyle says, like, oh, she was with me, Max says, an alibi from one of your own.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not just a rift between Max and Liz. As we saw, last episode? It's aliens versus humans.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like Max is making it impossible not to choose sides the way that he's behaving.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, I do appreciate that, like, Tess did speak up.
Mm-hmm.
For Liz and was like, no, that's not what's happening here.
Yeah, we're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
So we head back to Liz's place, and Liz is chilling out on her sweet little patio, and Maria shows up, and with the help of Derek and his nerdness, she managed to get the email decoded and find out that Alex was in Las Cruces, New Mexico, which is not too far away.
Yep. That it was sent from New Mexico, but not Roswell.
Mm-hmm.
So, road trip.
Road trip! Girls trip!
Yeah, I'm not sure they're seeing it that way.
Yeah, no. Fun.
But,
I mean, they do make time for some fun and, like, go to a Nelly Furtado concert. So,
they sure do. Yeah, so I think they're at Maria's at this point. When
Getting
they're, like,
packed.
about to leave.
That makes sense.
They're ready to leave, and Michael shows up. And Liz, like, gives some shitty lie about Alex's grandmother.
She's so bad at lying.
She's so bad at lying.
But whether or not she's bad at lying, Michael sees through it. And he just wants to help.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to tell Max. I just care, like, if it's dangerous, I'm going to protect you.
Yeah.
First sign of danger, call me.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, like, being supportive and loving.
Yes. Good job, Michael.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, bud.
Best boyfriend. And he does precisely that. He doesn't tell Max. Because I think in the next scene, we're at school in the hallway.
Yeah.
And he tells Max he doesn't know where they are.
Yeah.
Because Max obviously keeping tabs and notices they're not in school.
Mm-hmm. So where could they be? Gotta be in control of everything. King Max.
Yeah. And then, turns out Isabel is still using her powers to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
And fucked with Max's yearbook.
Yes.
And I think he thinks it's everybody's yearbook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until Michael's like, oh yeah, my picture's bad too.
Like, Michael doesn't even look twice and realize that something is wrong in Max's yearbook. He's just like, yeah, my picture's shit too. Like, whatever.
Yeah. And Isabel and Kyle are like, giggling in the corner.
Yeah. And then we get some nice b-ball time with the boys. Yeah.
B-ball court.
Yeah. Because that's the only place we can talk about our emotions is while we're playing the sports ball. Is that how men work?
3-pointer.
Yeah.
Layup.
Sport.
Alley-oop.
I don't know what any of those
things. Right?
Sure.
I think that's like a basketball thing.
Sure. Sure it is.
Kobe. Anyway. Like, since when do they play basketball?
I mean,
Have we seen them?
I don't feel like we've seen them play basketball. There's that, like, weird time in season 1 where Michael is watching the Evans family all play basketball together.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I think there's then, like, maybe a picture of the family together that's surrounding the basketball time. But yeah, I don't think we've seen Max and Michael hang out and play b-ball together.
But hey, fair. Like, whatever.
Yeah. And we learned that, like, alien sex is, like, that your orgasm lasts for, like, an hour?
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what I'm getting
Max
from that.
says hot alien sex.
Yeah. And they don't call it an orgasm, but he says he has a floating hot electric energy for an hour.
And he says it so, like, nonchalantly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, lasts about an hour.
Yeah. Oh, no big deal.
And he's like, it's a lot like human sex, except the point of culmination. Yeah. And, like, Michael doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's just wild. Like, was that necessary?
No.
For, like, to put into the story?
No. Not at all.
But, okay.
But what we do...
Sounds great.
We do get some nice little exposition here that, like, Tess knows from living and growing up with Naceto that an alien pregnancy only lasts a month. So she doesn't have a whole lot of time. She's gonna be showing soon.
Yeah, in, like, a week? A few days?
Yeah.
Maybe a week and a half. And it's funny because he's like, what kind of complication? Well, the only thing I could think of is, like, if you got Tess pregnant, but no, you're too smart to do that. Like, before Max even gets a chance to tell him.
Nope. Not too smart for that.
No, he's right. Like, you should be smart. Mm-hmm. Have they never heard of condoms?
Nope. Apparently not.
Like, just wear a condom, dude.
I don't like in this scene, there's this, like, sort of double standard energy. Like, Michael is like, you can tell her what to do. This is dangerous for all of us. You tell her what to do.
Yeah.
You're the king. And Max is just like, oh, well, that means she's the queen. So she has just as much say as you do. Like, you don't act that way with your sister, who is a princess, or with your best friend, who is, like, the head of your military, like, who are also important people in your life.
It's kind of weird. Like, I see a change in Max in this episode. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like he's starting to, like, realize things as, I don't know, maybe, like, all this stuff is making him grow up faster. But, like, and I feel like for me, this season is the start of it. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, Michael is, like, mad and kind of blaming Tess. Mm-hmm. You know? And Max says, he's like, I don't have a choice. Like, I can't tell her what to do. You know, like, this is her choice.
Mm-hmm. Which is true. Your body, your choice.
And I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not his body.
Yeah. It just surprises me. I mean, I do appreciate that very much.
It's very different than all his, like, bossing everyone else around.
Yeah. It's like very double standard with how bossy he is with everybody else's life. To then, you know, just a complete 180 with Tess. But
I do see him, like, and I'll talk about it, like, in coming scenes, but, like, there is some, like, growth and, like, I don't know, like, accountability that I'm starting to see from Max, at least in this episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, like, what are they talking about? Like, could she even get an alien abortion? Like, who of them knows how to abort an alien fetus? But they're just going to go to the Planned Parenthood?
Why not?
Like, they won't even go get her a sonogram.
Yeah.
And they're just going to go get an abortion?
Yeah, no, I mean, they can't.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you guys talking about? About, like, choices to, like, that it has to, like, not continue. I just, you know, logistically seems not really feasible. Mm-hmm. And then we're at University of New Mexico, Las Cruces. How do they know which exact room? I highly doubt that Derek would be able to tell that. He could tell, like, that it was, you know, a network at that school, but not which dorm room.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's a really good hacker. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it. He's in high school.
But we do find out that Alex was going by the name of Ray, and that he never left his room and ate Thai food for all of his meals.
Yep.
Which, I love Thai food, but I think I'd get tired of it if I ate it for every meal.
Same. So, like, I could eat it for, like, a bunch of meals in a row, just, like, different things off the menu, and then I'd be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this student that they're talking to, is talking about how weird Alex seemed, how weird Ray was, and that he, like, did see him out of the room one night, and that he didn't even acknowledge his presence at all. Mm-hmm.
And we find out that University at Las Cruces has a supercomputer. Fun.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Supercomputers can do lots of stuff.
Yeah. So then we go to a location we haven't seen in a while, into the pod chamber.
Yes.
Max brought the book because he's looking for answers about alien babies, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, what to expect when you're expecting.
What to expect when you're expecting an alien.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the book, you think? Is that just the alien translation of what to expect when you're expecting?
Yeah.
And again, he's like, this is my child too, but this is your decision, which I appreciate. And then she's immediately just like, oh, I'm having this baby.
I'm having it. I'm keeping it.
Like, she like interrupts him before he even finishes, which like, it's her decision.
Yeah. And
he says, okay.
That's not what I was hoping you'd say, but okay.
Yeah. But I do think he deserves to like have some time and space to process.
Oh, absolutely.
This and what it means and everything.
Yeah.
But, you know. Yeah, and then something weird happens and Tess is like in pain. And she says, Max, the baby.
Oh. And then there's a creepy little glowy baby hand coming out of her uterus.
So weird. So weird. And Max like has this connection thing with it. He puts his hand up to the weird glowy hand.
And now they know they're having a boy. Better than a sonogram.
They know it's a boy. Also, like, I'm not sure what this means, but I do think I want to point out that, like, this isn't the first time we have seen a glowing handprint on someone's belly. But, like, the other times it's been from healing someone.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not sure what that means, but just, like, I don't know. Felt like it was worth pointing out. So, you know, naturally we go back to University of New Mexico and see Nelly Furtado on the stage.
Absolutely. Let's do it. Nobody cool performed at my college.
We had some cool people at my college. I think Janelle Monáe came to my school.
Whoa, cool.
So, I'm really confused about, like, what the temperature is here. And, like, maybe this is just, like nighttime in New Mexico thing. But, like, Nelly Furtado is wearing a tank top. And Maria and Liz are wearing, like, sweaters, maybe jackets. Yeah, they're, like, wearing jackets.
Yeah, Liz is wearing
like,
that
the
ugly tapestry jacket again this episode. So.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, the grandma jacket.
Yeah.
And I love grandma fashion,
me too.
some of it, but not that jacket.
I remember this fashion, though, that Nelly Furtado is wearing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
definitely dressed like that in, like, the very baggy pants with, like, a slim, like a tank top, hair in the little buns. That is very 2000. I definitely dressed like that in high school.
And these two are so cute, just like dancing. But then Liz sees Leanna.
Yeah. There she is.
Or like the one we know as Leanna.
Yeah. Just also chilling, watching Nelly Furtado.
And Maria recognizes that like this feels kind of dangerous and wants to call Michael.
Which I appreciate.
But Liz doesn't give a shit and just wants to follow Leanna.
Yeah. Because Liz has a one-track mind. But luckily, I mean, either Michael is following them or Maria does call Michael and he's nearby because he does show up shortly.
Yeah, he's like just right there suddenly. Like right after they lose Leanna behind a bus.
Yeah.
Oh, another one of Kyle and Isabel's antics.
Yes.
We go to a classroom.
One more prank before we're done.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, just manipulating the molecular structure of the ground of Max's
or his shoes, or both. Just to connect them. So does that mean like she also caused the fire drill?
No, Kyle pulled the alarm.
Oh, Kyle pulled
There's
it.
like
okay.
a little clip of like Kyle with like a little like a little devilish grin on his face, and he pulls the alarm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, love to see it. You know, I think Max just like needs to be taken down a notch.
Agreed.
A step, whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
And yeah, he looks so mad. I wrote in my notes, he looks, all caps, big mad. And there's this, like, intense eye contact between them.
Yes, there is.
As he's just, like, stuck to the floor.
Trying to keep his cool with the teacher.
Yeah, be like, oh, I'm coming, I'll be right there.
Let me just pack up my books before this fire drill.
Liz is harassing yet another nerd, trying to convince another nerd to help her.
And this nerd is more than willing to also help her.
Yep.
And figure out what our friend Ray was doing on the supercomputer. And I wish, like, hacking into other people's projects was as easy as just typing in requesting source material.
Yeah, what?
I mean, it seems like there would have been more protections in place, especially, like, knowing that things were locked on, like, Alex's home computer that he wouldn't expect anyone else to be going into, but then working on, like, a communal public workspace at the school and nothing is, like, firewalled or password protected or anything, but you know, whatever.
So at the Valentis, I just hate this. I just hate it so much. Max being like, well, since you're pregnant, we should get a place of our own. It's like, no, you're still children. All the reasons that you weren't already living alone.
Yeah, they still apply.
You know?
Yeah, and you'll have another mouth to feed. So, like, perhaps, even if you don't feel like you can live with your parents, Max, because they don't know the whole truth about you, Valenti does know the whole truth about you, that you're aliens, so he can continue to be a supportive adult figure for you children.
Yeah, no, I just hate it.
Yeah.
But I guess the point of this scene really is just to show us that, like, in terms of thinking about their future, Max is thinking Earth future, and Tess is not.
Yeah.
Tess is like, no, I want to go home. Like, I'm seeing our future as being there.
Which is like, you know, that's always been a big difference between her and Max and Isabel, and to a certain extent, Michael. You know, that she was raised by Niceto with this vision that they would return to their home planet, whereas the other three were just raised as Earthlings.
Yeah, totally. It's like 100% the way they were raised. That is the difference. Back to the supercomputer. And Maria and Michael show up because they were looking into other stuff. They found out that Leanna, her name is actually Jennifer Coleman.
They found her. She's a track star.
Yep. And Michael wants to leave.
Yeah.
Michael's like, it isn't safe. And Michael, like, demands that they leave. And Liz...
All the boys want to be in control. What's up with that?
But we have girls in this show who, like, won't take shit from, you know, like...
Yes.
So she's just like, you cannot tell me what to do.
Yeah.
You know, just period. You can't tell me what to do. So that's pretty cool.
And the supercomputer and the super nerd managed to find the source material that they were working from. Yeah. And it looks a lot like that alien language in that book that Max is trying to decode back in Roswell right now. So maybe everyone needs to, like, mend some broken fences.
Totally. So he also can tell us a few things. He can say that what Alex is working on was trying to decode it. So they're like, oh, did he decode it? And so also that the results were deleted and that it was mailed to Jennifer/Leanna. So these are all important things.
So we still don't know how she's involved, but that she definitely is and wasn't just some random person that was photoshopped into an image with Alex.
Yeah. And then we keep just going back and forth to Las Cruces and Roswell. So back in Roswell, it's funny, we were just looking at the language on the supercomputer, and then we cut directly to the book and seeing the language again in the book. So that was a cool transition. And Tess, like, goes to get a soda and then drops glass and is not okay.
And Max runs in to save her, and these sound effects for Max's vision sound like something out of a horror movie to me. They are... There's, like, weird, like, baby cryy noises and, like weird noise. Like, it's just... I did not like the high-quality sound on my TV for these sound effects.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. It definitely, like, sounded scary.
Yeah, I mean, which...
They're trying to convey that, like, it is scary, this baby is dying.
Yeah, but yeah, they did a good job then with those sound effects, I guess.
Yeah. So it's it's an atmosphere thing. Mm-hmm. So the baby can't survive on Earth.
So we better find a way to get back to that home planet.
Mm-hmm. So back to Las Cruces again. They went to Jennifer's room. Her roommate, Bonnie, her name's Bonnie.
Oh, nice.
Is like, oh, Jennifer had to go home. Like something about her grandmother or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Here's where I pause for a second to tell you that Bonnie was in Buffy.
What episode?
I stupidly did not write down her name. I wrote down her characters' names, but not the actress.
Not the actress.
It's Lauren something. She was in, I think, just one episode of Buffy. She played Nancy Doyle, who was like an uptight girl.
Yes.
And do you know what episode? I haven't even told you, like, the context.
Nancy Doyle is... the name is familiar, though. Darn it.
So she was sitting next to Buffy in, like, a literature class.
Yes.
And she
when Buffy, like, has the answer. Out of sight, out of mind. I mean, no. I'm earshot.
You're thinking of... Yeah. I was going to say, you're thinking of the right episode, you're just coming up with the wrong name.
I always... Yeah. The one where she can read minds.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Awesome. Nancy Doyle is the girl whose mind she's reading, so she gets the answers faster, and then Nancy's pissed.
Nice.
And that's who Bonnie is. I was like, and I wasn't even... Like I said, like, I wasn't even... like, oh, this girl was in Buffy. I was just like, she looks so familiar. Like, what do I know her from? And yeah, it was that episode of Buffy. Nice. And the second I saw it, I was like, yes, that's where I know her from.
So I did, for all of the bad lying that Liz tends to do, she really, like, thinks on her feet pretty good here. And
she sure does.
You know, they have a good plan. Like, oh, well...
Maria also.
Yeah, maybe she left behind these physics notes for me, and then Liz just goes for it and lets Maria handle the distraction.
Yeah, she was, like, saying no. She was like, oh, wait, but most people, like, if you just don't listen to them saying no, aren't actually going to do much. Yeah. Like, she didn't know what to do. She's not going to, like, physically grab them and kick them out. So they're just like, oh, let's go right in. And Maria kills it with the, like, lying and the distracting and, like, she just keeps talking.
Yeah, and just, like, kind of physically blocks.
She's, like, blocking her
entrance. Yeah. Like, yes, a good team playing on all of their part getting this done.
They did a really good job. It was, like, just the two of them, really. Michael was there, but the awesome stuff was just Liz and Maria. And so they find these papers and they're like, okay, bye. And, like, run right out of there. Yeah, they're, like, going through the papers, and the only one that looks interesting is this one from Open Sky Property Management.
Yeah, a rental receipt for a property near Las Cruces. Maybe we should go check it out. What do you think?
So they do, and it's, like, a dirty, rundown, creepy building. Mm-hmm. Except there's a room with a computer and an alien bomb.
A crazy pyramid alien floaty bomb.
Yep. Like, it was a trap.
Yeah.
But Michael, thank God he came.
Yeah. Thank goodness,
he saved both of their lives. He saved all of their lives by, like, throwing it out the window. And thank God nobody was out there.
Yeah.
It's like, could have been like the mailman.
I don't think the mailman is delivering mail to that house anymore. I'm pretty sure. I
think you're right about that. Whatever.
But also, like, Michael finds, like, a crystal dildo.
Uh-huh. Yep. That is what I wrote in my notes. Certainly a crystal dildo.
Yep. But also they find the translation of the alien book.
I was going to say, wouldn't be a WB show without a crystal dildo.
Yep. Very true. But more importantly...
Yeah, whatever. More importantly, the translation of the book, which is huge. That is, like, such a big deal. Yeah. And then straight to Tess sweating in bed.
Yeah. And Max stressing that he can't read the book. That, you know, if he wasn't such an asshole to the other people in his life, maybe they would call him right away and let him know that they found exactly what he was looking for, instead of just trying to do everything on his own and not letting people in.
This is another scene where, like, I feel like he is starting to grow and, like, see the ways in which he was mistreating people. Because he basically says to her, he's like, all this time I thought of you as this person that would always wait for me.
Yeah.
You know, being like, I didn't appreciate you. I took you for granted. You know, that he's, like, taking accountability for that and realizing, like, it is shitty. You can't treat people that way. If someone likes you and will always be waiting for you, either tell them you're interested or that you're not.
Yeah. And let them get on with their life.
You can't have people on retainer.
Which is exactly what he has done with her this whole year.
Yep. But I do appreciate his, like, acknowledgement of this. And, like, apology, essentially.
Yeah.
And the crash down. We haven't really been to the crash down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like this is the only time in this episode that we really are in the crash down.
Yeah, I think it is. Kyle's, like, brainstorming of pranking ideas has gone too far. Too far. Especially for, like, a prank for his sister to execute.
Yes.
Like, she does not want to deal with her brother's testicles. Thank you.
No. Thank you very much. Not in my wheelhouse. And Isabel says these pranks aren't really making her feel better anyway. So she's ready to be done. But
he just tries one last time to bring Buddha into it, and she is not having it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not at all.
She's like, something about, like, if you try to quote that fat bald man one more time. And, like, I don't think this is fat phobic, because, like, he is a fat bald man.
Yeah. So Max is taking out the trash, and...
Is that what you call what he does?
Taking out his anger on the trash cans and his just frustration with everything. I mean, he starts out by trying to take out the trash, but, you know, everybody reaches their breaking point, and he's really kind of freaking out. And luckily, Isabel is kind of over her prankster days for the moment, and she's able to kind of come to his rescue here and be the sister that he needed at the beginning of the episode that she was not willing and ready to be yet.
Yeah. Well, and because she can see that, like, he is really hurting.
Yes.
And, like, when all is said and done, like, they're still siblings, they're still family, and she loves him. Yeah. Max could use a therapist, just saying. Just like every other person or human alien hybrid could use a therapist. All of us.
We had some very brief therapy at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But I don't think either he or Isabel kept up with it. They both probably could have used therapy this year.
Yeah.
Isabel's been through a lot also.
They can't be honest with their therapists, you know, which is, like, kind of defeats the purpose.
Yes.
Like, it just, it won't work. So, he tells Isabel that Tess is pregnant. She sits down with him in her long leather skirt.
Yes.
And I was like, is it even possible to sit on the ground in a leather skirt like that? But
she's worn that skirt a few times, and I'm not into it.
No, I don't like it.
It's weird.
And then she brings him to this bridge, reminds him of Bigfoot the guinea pig. And how it snowed.
Yeah. And she makes it snow for him. It's so
very
sweet.
Another example of how I think Max is growing and, like, starting to, like, see the people around him. When he says, like, your problems aren't nothing, they're important. Your life is important. I'm sorry for not realizing that.
Yes. Yeah, I did really like this moment. Like, Max is going through some growth here. You know.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
I really think so. I think this episode is, like, just, like, from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, huge difference in Max.
Well, he's going to be a dad, so he's got to stop acting like a child.
Yeah, it's a lot of life-changing shit.
And then right before the end of the episode, we get Michael on his motorcycle. I like it.
Ooh, Michael.
To let them know that, you know, one, that he lied to them, and two, that it was worth it because Maria and Liz have found out some good shit.
Yep. And he says, it's the way home. We can go home.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, like, what is home? You know, like, home is a familiar place. a place where you live, where there's comfort. You know, like, this is none of that. It's only home in that they have been told that they, like, originated there at one point.
Yeah. It's almost like me saying Italy is home.
Yeah.
Because I am of Italian heritage, even though I've never lived there.
Yep. It's weird. And, like, I understand also, like, wanting to know that part of your heritage. Mm-hmm. If you're, like, an alien and only know human
only
stuff.
know Earth, you know.
Yeah. But, home, that word makes me feel things about them calling it that.
Yeah. Yeah, a place they've never been. And for the most part, don't have memories of.
Yeah. They know, like, almost nothing about it.
Yeah.
Also, like, can their hybrid forms, like, survive there?
Who knows? I mean, it's obviously a very different atmosphere if the baby that seems to be perhaps fully alien cannot survive in our atmosphere. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll just have to... We've only got, 2 episodes left of this season, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens, listeners.
Oh my God, it's really all... The shit is all hitting the fan.
If you are watching the series for the first time along with us, it's about to get real.
Yeah.
Can we say that?
Yeah, it kind of feels like all these episodes are, like, to be continued. Like, it didn't say it. I don't think.
No, but but they are really building on each other now at this point in the season.
Whew.
So, do you have thoughts for a hot and saucy pick this week?
Like, not even. Now let's see who's hot and saucy. I think my hot and saucy pick just is Kyle. Period.
Just is Kyle.
Kyle. For this whole episode, he was super saucy. It's not all that hot for him to, like, invade this playmate's dream. But, no, just, like, him bringing Isabel the coffee. And, you know, Kyle's just hot. And there was a lot of sauciness with all these pranks.
Yes, there was. My pick my pick will just be Michael through this whole episode, but it's not Michael who threw this whole episode because he does get kind of, like, aggressive and handsy with Liz at one point. So I'm not here for that. But when he offers to help them and tells the girls that he won't tell Max and he just wants to make sure they're safe, I think that is, like, solid boyfriend material. And then at the end, when he shows up on a motorcycle, when he shows up on the motorcycle, that's just hot.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Tuesday, July 20th with Season 2, Episode 20, Off the Menu.
Follow us on all social media, including TikTok now, at Roswell Hot Sauce. And as always, you can find show notes and more information about us on our website at www.roswellhotsauce.com, or shoot us an email if you have anything interesting to share with us at roswellhotsauce@gmail.com.
Pass the Hot Sauce is produced and edited by Ashley Hullett. Our theme music is by David Belcourt, and our logo was designed by Billy Murray.
Until next time, remember...
This is a private gym.